نزوي برنامج زي وي نزوي دمس تجراي كتقولون زمساهم بحند عيلاتكم بحند غنيقاتكم آمين እግዚአብሔር አምላክና እነዚህ ሰዓት ዚን ህዝብና ድምጽ ክንኸውን ነው ዚዛ አከበና አምላክ መቸም እግዚአብሔር ውን መስመከራ ዝረክብና መከራ ተሳተፍት ክንኸውን ከለና አብይ በረከት ይሞ ከም ካህናቱ ውን ነዚ ፕሮግራም ዚን ህዝብና ድምጽ ክንኸውን ይልና ዚ ተረኺብና ለና حصر بزبالة برنامجنا كهنات كلنا أيو نشتينا ጸሎተ ምህላ ክንገብሪና قصيلنا خا حصر زبالة مجلسن مثلا عندي مخرين كوهابنا أي بأبوتات بار كوزي قصيلنا لأبوتات بصلاتكم ورحمنا نوعاتكم كمرحكمية يكون تبوتات اللو مساعتهم خوينا نتصلت كنكافل نهزونا وندمسك نخون لا أتمي مرحكم الله يغني اللي مدرق لا كهنات لا أبوتات
سلام عليكي أنا نسجد نبلاكي مريم منا لا سبق واكي ماروين أويت ما يسألنا بيكي بنتنا بيكي وياك ما أويك ما يبرنا يوم نقول بارك صلاة جسنا مريم ننقل ولا نتعاملك تعبيون سلك جابير وتتحسي من فسيه بعملك يوم راني اسمريه ما لا متون هو يزش سبتوني كل تولد اسمه قبر لي تعالى بياتو قدوس موسى هيلوني لتولد اللي فرهوا وقبر هايل بمزرعة وزرهم للي عبيرنا البموساتهم راجعنا مرتهم أيوة لتوتان وأسقوهم بركة الروان وفنهم ورقهم للولان وتوقفوا لإسرائيل كل يوم وتذكر سايلو ذي بيلوم والأبوين لأبراهام ولزروس كالعالم سبحات لا وول ومنفس قدوس العالم والعالم عالم اجتيا فتني ما يسرور الشيطان بس وداسي على جتنا مريم نجيلو يتبلو تكتان تسميش فكرت أو بوركت معنس أنت يوزعمت كمر أنت تسمي كدوس أشتغل لكان أصرتك على اللي تطفى بعد أبيه لك زيابير كرمود هنا بيوت أنت إيدي كلام سؤال من هاي يسكسوس لتصام نيشان ولا يوكنا أراك إيه لا دش كيران بوي ذا لما كدوس عن صهم ولا مهاجمنا ولا ذهنوا عن سالي لنا كدس صلوات على مريم وسلتها لحزب كريستياني كبا ما تقول صلوات على مريم وسلتها لنفساتها متان يدهن ما تقول صلوات على مريم وسلتها لأقرتها ولا منات كلنا مولتها إن ولدوا يوهما إن ولد عروس أمامك يوم يبطهن يبطكم آمين أبونا ذو السماوات يدرسن كتاب منجستك ويكون بذلك الرقم والسماء كما هو مدرسين سعينا ذلك عبن يوم ذكرنا وسنة لجعين كما إننا نجزع بسنة يتابع عنك جوش منصود على أدنى ونحن كل قسم جاء في إنسان بسعي رسول الله نقول عن المعلم وسلام الدروس الأولياء ملات وجيت مران سلام لك الجو إنك ونقول قاش المجزع سلام لك بركت عنك ما نصورك في قرصك تفسير أوم للزجاج دارم لك السؤال وتدليل أنا مرات أذكر ولك يسوع كريستوس كما يسر لنا تعوينا تمايت أنا بك ወንጌል ቅዱስ
abused is appalling, and all I can say is that I am personally horrified, and I know that this is often being done by young Eritreans whom I have supported for nearly 30 years. I continue to stand with the Eritrean people, but I do not stand with the brutalized troops of Eritrea who are inside Tigray. This is not part of their culture. They have been abused by President Isaias, and this is the result. But I think this is a wonderful turnout. I think it is remarkable that you have got so many people. There are people who have come here from Leeds. There are people who have come here from Birmingham. And of course there are people here from London, like me. I also symbolize one other thing. I myself was born at the other end of Africa. I am from Cape Town, and I know you are from the north of Africa, but I hope that I symbolize in some small way the unity of Africa with the people of Tigray in their time of trial. Unity and strength is what we must seek for. But I must tell you that there is one thing that you must do. Let me ask you all to be honest. Anybody who has written to their member of parliament, put up your hand now. Good for you. I'm delighted to see so many of you are engaged. Do not allow this to be your last act. You live in a democracy, and you can reach out through your trade union, through your church, through your member of parliament, through your councillors. We must go beyond the community that we see here today and inform the British people so that they act together to destroy the appalling atrocity that is taking place in Tigray right now. Because I say this to you, this is not just a fight for Tigray. What we now see is the unity of three dictators, three people who have no legitimacy. President Isaias has never been elected by the people of Eritrea. Prime Minister Abiy, his time is finished. He has no legitimacy. And Farmajo in Somalia is in exactly the same position. He has no legitimacy. These people call themselves leaders. They stand on the world stage, but they have not the support of their people. Unless you win an election, a democratic, fair election, you do not have the right to speak on behalf of your people. The people of Tigray showed that it was possible, even at a time of COVID, to carefully go and consult the people, and the result was clear. We know what happened. The TPLF won, and the Tigrayan people... And you can say genuinely that your leaders have legitimacy. They have the right to speak on your behalf. And attempts to crush them will fail because you will stand with them. All I can say is, I think, in my heart of hearts, I think this will not be a quick fight. This is one that is going to take a long time. I have not forgotten that the last time the people of Tigray stood up was from the mid-1970s to 1991. That's leaving aside the border war. You stood up for many years and you fought. And frankly, I'm afraid that is what you may have to do again. It is not something I want. I want peace, I want freedom, I want democracy, I want food, I want humanity for the people of the Horn of Africa. But if you have to fight, sometimes you have to fight. The people of Britain, the people of London stood for 5 long years as bombs rained down on this city. There's a person I spoke to here who's from Poland, and the people, the Polish, they sent their fighters in the air to fight alongside the people of Britain, and they saved London. And I'm afraid, I think you have to be ready to make those kind of sacrifices again. So I promise you, as long as I'm around, I will speak with you, I'll speak for you, I'll do what I can. Solidarity and freedom. Thank you.
We need a bigger round of applause for Martin Plaut. Come on, Martin Plaut.
أبغى نوصل حزب تجري لو ما يكون صباح سقع مجرشة دوك نبلينا أنزا تجارو أنزا إرتراوياني أنزا تجارو أنزا إرتراوياني إسياس نيرتراويان أصليتو نحواتنا تجارو كسنتي قعزالو عدل جن يبولون نازنت حدنت حيليو سلازي أجونا داون إسياس سمع إلن داون إسياس داون أبي داون إسياس ديكتاتور أبي ذا ديكتاتور أبي ذا كيلر Stop genocide in Tigray! Stop genocide in Tigray! Stop genocide in Tigray! Isaias the killer! Allanado! Sarawit Tigray! Bab Ma'altu! Bab Sa'atu! Nda Waraze! Nda Zabae! Yidum Samallo! Ku'watiyu! Hizb Tigrinya! Kin'uwatina! Ajahum! Eritrea! Tigray! أسلامي كستاني كيبلنا بحده كنعواتنا عود وصح حزبي ثانك يو حوهم هان محرتاب شو
Our next speaker, they've got coaches to come all over the UK. This shows that our bond with our Eritrean brothers and sisters is unbreakable, regardless of whatever regime there is. Baito Yakil, Mr. Al-Azhar, I'll let him have a couple of words.
يقني لي زعلت زعفني يقني لي أبكن دي بايثي أكل فيني وحدا قديش تملك تخلفه لازم زعلت لي أدقي مسكن سلام كل زخابركن سلفنيات أوكي اسمع الله قدي يا كلاتنا كلن كتماتات عباي بريطانيا بزنبرنا عمامات أو نزيفنا أبزي بحواتنا تجارو ዝተወደበ سلاماوي سلفي كنركب زغبرنا مخنيات اتي اب تግራይ ዝፍጸም ዘሎ በደላት ቅትለት ዝርፈት ካልእ ኢሰብኣዊ ተግባራት ንምኹናን ንማሕበረሰብ ዓለም ነቲ ዝወርድ ዘሎ በደላት ጠጣው ንኸብል ስጉምቲ ክወስድ ንምጽዋዕን ኣብ መንጎኹም ተረኺብና ኣለና ንሕና ኤርትራውያን ቅድሚ ህዝቢ ትግራይ ግዳያት ናይ ስርዓት ኮይና ኣደዳ ማእሰርትን ስደትን ቅትለትን ኮይና ኢና ሕጂ እውን እንተኾነ ነቲ ኣሬምናዊ ተግባራቱ ኩን ንምግባር ኤርትራውያን መንእሰያት ትሕቲ ዕድሜ ሽማግለታት ግዳያት ናይ ዘይምልከቶም ኩናት ገይሩ የወርዶም ኣሎ ካብኡ ሓሊፉ ካብ መሪር ጭቆና ህግደፍ ሃዲሞም ኣብ ትግራይ ተዓቂቦም ዝነበሩ ኣሽሓት ስደተኛታት ኤርትራውያን እውን ግዳይ ናይ ዝወራር ኮይኖም ኣለዉ ዞባ ቀርኒ ኣፍሪቃ ኢትዮጵያን ኤርትራን ሰላም ክረኽባ ከለዋ ጥራሕ ሰላም ዝረክብ ዞባ ስለ ዝኾነ እቲ ናይ ህንፀት ይኹን ልምዓት መደብ ዘይብሉ ህግደፍ ከም ድጉል ሓዊ ኣብ ዘድለየ እዋን ኩናት እንዳወልዐ ኣብ ስቃይ የንብረና ኣሎ እዚ ሓልዮት ህዝቢ ዘይብሉ ስርዓት ንህዝቢ ኤርትራ ድምፁ ዓፊኑ ኣብ ግበር ኣይትግበር ዝብል ዓማጺ ምሕደርኡ حيرو زنبرو زلو سرعتيو نحنا بوغنا زلنا حبرتا حزب إرترا نزي أب تግራይ زور زلو كل عينت بدلات ኣይቅበሎን ጥራሕ ዘይኮነ ብትሪ ዝኹንኖ ምዃኑ እዩ ይኹን እምበር ሃገር ብምልእታ ኣብ ገፊሕ እስር ቤት ስለትነብር ድልየቱ ናይ ምዝራብ መሰሉ ተጠቂሙ ኩነኒኡ ከስምዕ ዕድል የብሉን ስለዚ ንሕና ሎሚ እቲ ኣብ ትግራይ ዝግበር ዘሎ ታሪክ ይቕረር ዘይብሎ በደላት ቃንዛናውን ምዃኑ ብስም እቲ ውፅእ ህዝቢ ክንገልጸልኩም ንፈቱ ህዝብታት ትግራይን ኤርትራን ኣብ ክንዲ ሓድሕድ ምድግጋፍ ቀታልን ተቐታልን ጌርካ ነባር ጽልኢ ንምትካል ዝዓለመ ውዲት ምዃኑ ኩሉ ሰብ ክነቕሓል ዘለዎ ምዃኑ በዛ ኣጋጣሚ ክነተሓሳስብ እንደሊ ሕውነትን ሰናይ ጉርብትናን ናይ ህዝቢ እዚ ዘይደልዩ ሓይልታት ከም ዘለዉ ገረብ ብሓኽላ ንኽንቀታተል ተጻይ ሓድሕድና ኮይና ናይ ዘይምህላውና ዕዮ بإيدنا خساخعو دليتهم مخانون بروح كوين الله نحنا خم هزبي هلاوينا نموحاس صلاتنا نمسعارن عمونغو هزب تقراين هزبي إرتران عماسي كحب علم زغل نقعات زي مقداف ويون فسيمكا بمعصاو كم زعصاو بمقبارن ناي هلاوينا وحسنات كنا الرقاقس انكو فتح مخانو داقيمنا كنا قنزب ندالي أبايتا زولو صقم مفتحيو نحنا إرتراويانن تقارون مخانا كنبره ندالي محبرة سب عالم كحقز يخل انبر كاوز حلف كقبر انتو خوينو ربحو وطرحيو أبقمت كاتو زولو ازي زوا عبي مسمر نقدي عالم كمخانو متان محبرة سب عالم ازي مسمر زي كاب موتقام كساب زيت تصقمه اتي سرعات زي بزخونه واقع ربحاتاتهم كساب زوحاسه طفاءاتن برستنا يزوبا قدامنتهم كم زي مخانو كنددو يقبا بايتا عباي بريطانيا حانسيسو زلو ناي قاس استراتيجي بار نظام حزبታት ትግራይን ኤርትራን ንምጥፋእ ተበጊሱ ዘሎ ናይ ጥፋት ሓይሊ ብሓባር ተቃሊሱ ንምስዓርን ተመሳሳሊ ፀገም ንኸይፍጠር ነባር ፍታሕ ንምርካብ زعلم يخسر مخانو بس أقطعمي كنقرن دلي ستصحبكم نعدل أزيه يمسجن تقرأي تعود. Thank you very much.
Our chairman of the Tigray Youth Network. If you have not heard of the Tigray Youth Network, the Tigray Youth Network are the people who organize this protest. They do a lot of advocacy, diplomacy, everything you see sometimes online. They do a lot of work behind the scenes with Mekata and TDA also. Our chairman, the representative of Tigray Youth Network, Caleb, will say a couple of words.
Thank you. Hello all, my name is Caleb and I'm proud to be the chairperson of TYM. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who has made this event possible. It really shows the unity we have with many different people and organisations within our community working together with help from all across Europe, not just the UK. As Tigrayan people, we are taught to love and cherish each other as if we are one big family. Unfortunately, not everyone shares these same values. Since November, when a savage attack was launched on our land by the federal Ethiopian government, destroying countless lives, many through displacement and unfortunately in death. We see no end in sight, and the ramifications of this will be felt for years and generations to come. TYN hope to be there to help and support those who require our resources. Many people are being silenced, robbed of the ability to speak, to tell their truth. I can see a lot of young people in the crowds. Thank you all for coming. For those of you that are of a similar age to me, or even younger, I'm sure we can all relate to the many stories and tales our parents and elders would tell us about the life in the 80s, specifically about the Derg War. For me personally, whilst I could see and hear the sadness in my parents when detailing the atrocities, I found myself not able to feel the same feelings, the same pain. However, since November, that feeling has changed. The disbelief, the anger, the sadness, even the pride in Tigray, it was all there. Everything my parents told me, it suddenly made sense. This is our generation's battle. We implore you all to join our efforts. TYN is a place where so many of us are able to interact and connect in ways to help Tigray. This is the great benefit of our generation. We have never been more able to make an impact. We have so much accessibility at our fingertips. Technology allows us to effect change. It allows us to plan large-scale protests to reach over 5,000 people on Instagram alone. To put pressure on our government to do more than putting out statements using empty words like concern. This is all during a pandemic. This is your time to work in the same fashion that our parents did and that they're still doing. No matter how old you are able to make an impact, make a change. Whilst you may not think it, I can guarantee that you have value to help our brothers and sisters back home. Help us help them. Be the voice for the voiceless. TYN's agenda is simple. Support, empower, and progress. Help us achieve that. Kunuwatina. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've got a few words to say, and I've got something I've written, so I'll just read it out. I'll start it like this. Not only is this a physical war that the TDF are fighting, or a mental and media war that the diaspora are fighting, it is a spiritual war that we are all fighting. A battle against hatred, deception, and those who only serve themselves. We win by never changing our principles and values, by not stooping to the level of those who hate humanity and seek to destroy civilization and culture where they find it. We win by being true to ourselves and our love for each other. I've lost my love for each other and those who share our values of honour, truthfulness and integrity. We must start to think about rebuilding Tigray. This experience has strengthened our commitments to our shared culture and beliefs, and most importantly to each other. We must build Tigray in our own way, for example by creating new and exciting architecture for cities that has its roots in our ancient history and deep memory. We have the opportunity of developing, for example, a new legal system that's not based on alien Roman law, but one that reflects our original, respectful, consultative and collaborative tribunal system. No one should be ignored. And we must maintain our dignity and remain a bastion of hope and inspiration for all Africans, and indeed for all the people in the world. This is a potential taste, for the future of Tigray. From great darkness, we can shine a great light. So that's really all I wanted to say. So thank you very much, and keep going.
Thank you. They are doing amazing work. They've reached over 10,000 internally displaced people. She started this work before anyone did in November, when people were scared to reach areas of Tigray that no one could go to. She was trying, they were all trying. Afi too, commendable work. Mary, a lot of them. And Mele's going to come here and speak about Rise Up for Tigray, which is a sister branch, like a charity of TYN. Like I said to you, they've reached over 10,000 internally displaced people, and they are also trying to get access to Shura as we speak. But as we all know, we have been blocked off from aid, not just from the West, but even from our own people. So Mele's been combating all of this. So Mele, if you can come here and say a couple of words.
No, you didn't have to. Thank you so much. So I just want to start off by just saying, wow, look at us today here. Unity, honestly. We're unity bound by our love for Tigray. I mean, it's amazing to see us all here today fighting for their voices to be heard, and our hearts filled and driven by pure love and passion for Hizbullah. The truth is, millions of people are being starved, their livelihoods destroyed, their homes looted, daughters raped, families killed, and this is not enough for the international community to act. The deliberate blockage of aid by Ethiopian and Eritrean government has created the dire humanitarian crisis in Tigray. From children, women, men, priests, elderly, who were living peacefully, independently, earning an honest living, having been forced to be internally displaced and reliant upon handouts. With over 2 million people displaced, 80% of Tigray is still blocked from aid, and 91% of the people are still in urgent need for food. Words are not enough to describe or even express what we are feeling. And I don't think there'll ever be any words adequate enough to express what our people are facing every day. Many of them have fled from horrific scenes with just the clothes on their backs, experienced firsthand. Experienced firsthand what it feels like to be confronted by the enemy who shows no mercy. And despite fleeing and reaching somewhat safety, they are faced with new challenges of finding shelter, food, basic necessities, and healthcare. With your help, Rise Up for Tigray and TYN have sent over 1.2 million birr in aid for aid and supplies such as bedding, food, toiletry, medical supplies, baby milk formula, and so much more. We have reached thousands of internally displaced people in Mekelle and Aksum, and we're currently working on Shira. But that's still not enough. With over 100,000 internally displaced people in Mekelle and over 60,000 in Aksum. As of recent, we have been presented with the opportunity to further extend that support to Shira. Shira is currently hosting over 350,000 internally displaced people. It's hosting the highest number. Many are in need of, adequate shelter, bedding, medical aid, and more. And sadly, we have even received reports of children dying due to malnutrition. We are therefore urging you all to help us help them. The humanitarian crisis in Tigray is bigger than all of us. We cannot save everyone, but for those that we can, we must and we will by any means necessary. We have all been donating to many organisations and groups, but if you have raised money within your trusted groups and you have not reached Tigray, please, I am begging you to reach out to myself or any member of TYN. Many are in need and heavily reliant upon us, the diaspora. The aid that is being given in Tigray is either being resold or seized, right? So it's our duty, our obligation to help and save our people from dying from starvation. The journey is not one that we can walk alone, but together, united, we stand to help our brothers and sisters in Tigray. Please visit TYN on Instagram, Tigray London, to buy your merch. 100% of proceeds will go to the projects that we're working on in Tigray. There's people around right now as well selling merch, so if you haven't bought your merch, please buy it from us, because we are actually reaching people in Tigray. And also, if you want to see some updates and pictures and receipts and stuff of the work that we've been doing, it's all on TYN and Tigray London's post. On their Instagram, and also our GoFundMe link is also there. We're about to hit the goal, which is 15,000. We're on 13k, so please dig deep into your pockets, give what you can. This is for Hizbana. Manim sev you belomi, and hlayla drahla lana yom. Yeah, so no maati toton harle belna, maatina le Hizbana nukhon. Right? So Medina. Thank you, guys.
Gail Warden. Some of you guys might be familiar with Gail. Gail is a friend of Tigray, the people of Tigray. She worked with the TPLF in the 1990s, so she knows a lot of the leadership very well. And she's very saddened by the current situation in Tigray. So I'm going to pass over to Gail to say a couple of words.
Yeah, hi everybody. just wanted to say how proud I am to be here today and how proud I am of the recent 30 years of history with all the progress that has been made in that time, which are now being described as 27 years of darkness, which I find incredibly ironic. Just wanted to remind you just how powerful democracy can be and how you grasped it recently with a brilliant election, because my background is constitutional reform as well, so voting is and democracy is really, really important, and I was amazed at how well that election went. And again, it is incredibly ironic that unelected dictators are bombing and killing the only region in the country that's actually democratically elected. And I saw this poster over here, return our elected government to Tigray, and I say yes, 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 that is what needs to happen. They must never be allowed to take that away from you. And you were the last region, all the others have succumbed to placement, so it's very important to really push for that. So congratulations on that election, and one day I'm sure that will be, the government will return, peace will come. We just have to push really hard. Now there are two ways you can help do that. I know you've probably written to your MPs already, but write to them again. If you can, write to your local councillors as well. And I'm wondering why the BBC Domestic has been quite so quiet about this whole conflict. They did something about 10 days ago about the people that were killed and thrown off cliffs. Finally they did that. They've maybe covered it once or twice before then, but otherwise, silence. Why? BBC World Service can cover it, so why can't BBC Domestic? So anyway, so what you should do is write and complain to the BBC. So you've got a lot of writing to do, or tweeting. You can do it through tweets. Just get out there and put pressure on the BBC, and we're going to make them cover it in future. And yeah, the UN Security Council has, shifted, so that's progress. The EU has done some stuff, that's good, that the sanctions are there, and they've withdrawn aid, or withheld aid for the moment. So there is progress, but we must keep up that pressure. So over to you guys, and I'll just keep doing the same as well. Just push, push, push. Okay, onward and upwards.
I'm sure you guys heard what she said. She gave you 2 points of action. One is write to your representatives again. It doesn't matter whether you've written to them before. You need to bombard them with letters. You need to bombard your local representatives, your MPs, with letters. It does not matter if you have written to them before. Second point of action she's given you is to write to the BBC. The BBC have failed Tigray because they have failed to report on the atrocities that is going on the region. Now, 2 points of action. One, write to your representatives. Two, write to the BBC and other press outlets. Thank you, Gail, for your very valuable advice. And next, we've got Makonnen, who represents Mekata, and he will say a couple of words on his own merit as well as Mekata's.
Okay, thank you. We are gathered here today to protest and demonstrate against the genocidal war being waged against the people of Tigray by the dictators Abiy and Isaias and the Amhara expansionist forces. For 6 months, the war on Tigray has claimed the lives of tens of thousands of Tigrayans, has inflicted hunger and starvation on millions, and have committed barbaric sexual violence and rape against Tigrayans' grandmothers, mothers, sisters and daughters. In the war on Tigray, hunger and starvation, sexual violence and rape, the wanton destruction of Tigray's infrastructure, industries, hospitals and schools, and the deliberate desecration of Tigray's rich cultural and religious heritage have been weaponized in order to subjugate the people of Tigray. All this as a strategy of war. In the war on Tigray, crime against humanity, war crimes, and genocidal acts of massacres and ethnic cleansing are daily occurrences, almost normalized. Yet, the world is watching, paralyzed to stop it. The war on Tigray is unjust, unprovoked, unconstitutional. It is a war declared on a people, nationality and government for exercising Tigray's constitutional right of autonomy, self-rule, and the right to conduct regional elections. The gallant people of Tigray, its government, and all the political parties in Tigray have been heroically resisting the war. United almost to a person, organized, armed, Tigray's national liberation struggle continues and shall prevail against all odds. As British citizens and residents, we Tagaru must continue to struggle and stand up with our people in Tigray. We shall seek alliances, solidarity, supporters for the just cause of Tigray and against the barbaric war being waged against our people. We must recognize and thank those from Ethiopia, Eritrea, or Britain who stood up with us during the perfect storm that is hanging over our people and land. To those who are silent, either in the rest of Ethiopia or Eritrea or in the diaspora, we say silence is not an option. In essence, it is tantamount to complicity. In the immortal words of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., quote, "There comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe, nor politic, nor popular, but he, she must take it because conscience tells him, her. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. We will ask, future generations will ask, where were you when genocide was happening in Tigray? This is your burden of history. The Mechata Tigray campaign of the Tigrayan diaspora, in particular the gallant struggle of the youth of Tigray, have achieved a great deal on the diplomatic front. We recognize and commend the positions taken by the European Union, in particular the Republic of Ireland, the Biden US administration, the UK government, and the United Nations agencies. In spite of being too late and too little, we do, however, commend and are grateful for the humanitarian concern and assistance thus far shown and provided. We are forever grateful to the members of the UK Parliament, in particular Lord David Alton, Helen Hayes, Member of Parliament, and the Archbishop of Coventry for their humanitarian concern and for airing Tigray's case in the UK parliamentary debate. Similarly to the many UK in the media and the third sector. Whilst acknowledging the UK government's stand on the war, we would believe concrete actions, including appropriate sanctions, are necessary to stop the war. Mere and repeated diplomatic statements, pleadings amounts to appeasement of the dictators. The UK government has major influence in terms of diplomatic, political, strategic and economic leverage vis-à-vis the regime in Addis Ababa. Above all, the UK government has legal and moral responsibility to help end the genocidal war in Tigray. Too much, too long to endure. The upshot is that the UK government must be pressurized to step up and to take concrete and meaningful actions to end the war. To this effect, the UK Tigrayan diaspora must work tirelessly, principally through our local MPs, to make this happen. Yet we also feel and believe much more needs to be done to end the war and its horrendous aftermath. We believe there is a tendency to appease the dictators Abiy and Isaias by some governments and international agencies. We plead for bold and concrete actions by Western governments that are absolutely necessary to stop the war. While commending the unanimous United Nations Security Council statement on Tigray, this is after 5 months, we also believe bold and concrete actions are necessary to avert the making of genocide of an African people and nationality in the 21st century. Tigray must not be another Rwanda or Darfur. We implore on Russia and China to refrain from engaging in great power or regional geopolitical calculations that impede the ending of the war in Tigray. Russia and China must not condone genocide of an African people. Yes, Africa and the world are watching. The dictators Abiy and Isaias and the Amhara expansionist forces, while appearing to be cooperating and compliant for tactical reasons, have in fact continued, have intensified the war against the Tigrayans. Millions are on the verge of famine. Atrocities, sexual violence abound. We must therefore continue and intensify our Mekete struggle. Specifically, we demand the unconditional, complete and verified withdrawal of Eritrean and Amhara armies from Tigray, and the end of the occupation of Tigray by the so-called federal government forces. We condemn the weaponization of hunger and gender-based violence as a strategy of war. We demand independent, impartial, and internationally led investigation of the credible allegations of war crimes. We send the message that the Ethiopian Human Rights Commission is a state-sponsored and partisan institution and cannot therefore be an independent co-investigator. We plead for the scaling up of unfettered humanitarian relief and assistance to the millions of victims of the war who are on the verge of starvation and famine. Finally, on behalf of Melechtat Tigray UK, thanks to the Tigray News Network for organizing this demonstration. And also thank you to all friends and supporters for showing your solidarity with us today. We also like to thank the police for securing our peace and safety. Respect for our gallant patriots in Tigray and eternal peace to our martyrs. Our struggle continues. Tigray shall prevail. Thank you.
Riling up behind you. Right now we have an amazing girl who's actually taken the time to write us a lovely poem. Please give us more support. Please give her some applause. Her name's Hosanna Solomon. She's gonna.
The fear that once controlled me has left me to flee, but we simply must stand and make sure we land. For hope is the key and trust is the fee. Brothers and sisters, fathers and mothers, families to strangers, all have been harmed, from our loved ones to our enemies. Houses have shredded and streets are red. We are the people of Tigray and we stand with them. We ask you once more, stop the war in Tigray, stop the genocide in Tigray. Tigray is our home, she is our mother. Stop killing innocent people, it's killing not illegal. I stand with my country Tigray and proudly support it. People have fled from the war, brave Tigrayan soldiers in battle, their lives at risk. Now let us play our part and support our nation. We are strong and we are brave. We will have courage, so do not stand in our way. If killing innocent people and destroying a country is right, then I want to be wrong. Stop killing innocent children, mothers and fathers. If you are killing innocent children and believe in God, then read the Ten Commandments again. Does it not tell you to not kill? We are all children of God and servants of God. He loves us, so let us love Him. Let us pay Him for giving us these wonderful lives and families by not fighting and by letting peace and love take over. Do not forget that hatred does not last, but love can. So stop the war in Tigray. Tigray is victorious. Tigray to Awet.
That was amazing. Guys, she deserves another round of applause. Come on. Another round of applause. That was amazing. Haji, we've got Simon, who's also... Simon, if you can come to the front. Simon.
برنينغهام ساعات سلازا أغلى نافتا تا كوتش زوردة كومبوتا حلفو تبهال اللهم كالي دما زتفقت دوكمنت الله زتفقت نجار ترغيبكم نابزي ناب دحري مدرغم تسلنا. Thank you.
Simon is going to read us a poem that he's written in Tigrinya. So Simon.
Alonado. هراي بشم تقراي حصر زولات قط بحزالكم وصي لغو نا اكبلكم أتارو إلي سمعوا لي واي أنس زي رغبوكا زي باللي لماني تازغل معات سمعي زي بلو أويات حباسي زي بلو نبعات شم عركي دفير مرعات كنت التاليو بحقي بسرعات بتا حقي تنقص الله ساعات بتا حقي تنقسلا ساعات نويح زانتاي عميق مستري حلف تاريخ حتتو أنس من مخاني مسطاك يا مسرح بعل سلطانة متعبيتي جغن النت تعقستي علامة ون متصامدي امنت فغري سناي تكبار زخونة تعذبوا استوعلوا كللكم يا أنا رأي وبلو نسيو ديجيتال ويانا رأينا بلو نحن أينا ديجيتال ويانا وحازي كماي فرين عزيز بي أكبيو كم نبي يلن مفل لاي حدنا زباريو معار زفريو كبر زواقاو بجنا زفلطو نتي سلايو نبيو تهزبي سلام أبو سناي اتي كوفو تقراي اتي هزب نبي كم تمن تبيبيو يوه كم رقبي ويكا من كفليو نتي حبر لبي قاشا وحجيو وايد فرن كتو نتي زهق انو معزكا يسحتو اتي هزبي سمع حدا زي عبر حدري اياتاتو قالوا كوا زي سبر حدري اياتاتو قالوا كوا زي سبر تاريخ زيو جننت لمادو فوري نزرعيو قربا معدو حاليوت نزرعيو معز يقارصو فورم انغادو انت معرق حزبي ادب نقالاتي ها الى كوريكا زلو ابتلبي بقي مساي تولا كويننا برغرم من لا يطفئنان ندقي قوقح رغم نزمنا تامبيرنا عبد الحمد فتحي اي هابنان فتحي نصانت اغري لنا ايو كبزحات معات እና በለ ዘዘርከበ ይጻረፍ ነቲ ማዓር ከምዕረ ዘይ ኢዱ ረኺቡ በዓል ቁምጣ ስረ ዘይ ኢዱ ረኺቡ በዓል ቁምጣ ስረ ናይ ዓባይ ትግራይና እቶም ጀጋኑና ንነፍሰይ ከብልስ ከይበሉ ህይወትና ምንቲ ሃገሮም ክኾኑ መስዋዕቲ እንታይ ከረኺቦም እኳ ተዳሪጎም አደዳ መጽረፍቲ بدم جاكانو زلمع داريقو كقرسم بشق ويانس تخلع برهان كقسم كرعات من النت تمرتي سلطانة تاريخ كابانا كسور تمكعتنيا قفعنيا كحنكاك بانا خطبر ششاي كوفون هبايك بربر عند حقوق تاريخ هزبي كسبر دغمكو كيبلا نحاسوت بمحبر يقلابت قالو حلمو نكسمر يقلابت قالو حلمو نكسمر ازدو تفدو تاوعرو جغنادو كتامي دو يقبا كتامي كتنبع دو يقبا عشوخ كتوقع كسدو دو يقبا كام مبوقلي كتوصي تا كلو تقل حازلا بزبانا ولا دي تقارو نايفريات هاد اسكا تزاربو كم ادو تفدو تقامي حسايا صباح دو كبرهلا كتعاس كتوي دمسا عو يبلا هزبي تخدعون زي سمو بقيعو عينو ماي نتيعو نكينان أبكدميت بزي مسرعو نكينان أبكدميت بزي مسرعو دكمان مخانا زنقعلو دكمان مخانا زنقعلو نقرطا زي رسعخا زلوكو ساحوي ناب نفسيا تمليسا مبرخا كريان دو صباح دك مبرك كون قدقودو بإيدو قدقودو مخعاتو حمدو بإيدو قدقادو مخعاتو حمدو وانبر زتتحلو بوليتيكا كح بزبولو امنات كسبخ جارات مكتنياتا دورونا كوبوكخ قاردي وعروتات كحماشش عقمي عقال قبلل كمبركخ شمعة عشل من اشي نكنتو كمكخ دم مرقن تقراواي كماسو رهاتن سعرا من هركوتن هزبي كالمسو بناي وصع وقن سعدان كيحن كمارسو بشم نايت جغنا نابسب لونا امزس قرم كلاغصو سران زعدقوم وفي تمليسم كچفلقو تمليسم كرغاغصو مسفناوي يكون اهداوي تمكحتنيا كونه ناي رحو قفعنيا حبيروم نزمصو قالن حدرن جغانو ناي سنيقه صنعتن حدنتن قراصنتن عتيقه كريوم ايه من مخانيا صبيقه كنريوم مينا من مخانا صبيقنا فعصو صلاتي بطاطيس دغاغيمه درميسه دغاغيمه افريسه أصفيحة يدكس سلام تترئسة تاريخون يسند لومي مملسة تاريخون يسند لومي مملسة مسرتو دلدل زي نوعو متكل درتو حلول زي تحاس بسنكلل حرنتو سمر بقللو زي تالل أتحساسبعو بصل زيناتو شلل ملل أسرارحو وحلل زي فوتو كال مال أمل أين السنديوت وقني زي دفر معبل أين السنديوت وقني زي دفر معبل حرالونا عبي شخمي نايتوم كيا زي عبر نزمت أسألعينا كنحمشش كنسبر هياو شمو منا العلنا إدي تاقبرو منا ذكرنا اسكان العلوم كابتموت مكابر مسانا كوينهم يكالسو بمنفس بمعبر اتشموم حيلي تقبرو مسنعاتي ماني كودوين أفو مليئو بدفرت يكالس بعتي زبل دقاقيمو كبزبل نشمو حساوي ينسو كبزبل لنفسو حساوي ينسو كبزبل لنفسو قن يلنكم زبل يفوتون ديت وقني وريس يقول حقي كابتم أبوتاتي لعلى حلو يقصرو زنت قلت يخبرو سقا حمد يلبس منفس يزك ألس اللو يوم حبيروم توم هزبي نبين ديوم أما لا أكالي بمنفس عسيلوم أما لا أكالي بمنفس عسيلوم أجوخي عدي دكخي كبر يوم لألو خلو دم يقوم بتبل حسن يقوم أي حفرهن كوتاس أي حترن إدوم هلو اللي دعا كوين كل على كلهم هلو اللي دعا كوين كل على كلهم thank you guys thank you